January 6th is just amazing. This is a great day.
The state of the vote for the President of the United States, as delivered to the President of the Senate, is as follows. The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
All right, folks, it is January 6th, the anniversary of the insurrection, and Congress has just certified Donald J. Trump as the 47th president of the United States. And also, Trudeau just resigned. All right, I want to show you guys how the media is completely just foaming at the mouth, just completely raging over the fact that Trump wasn't punished for January 6th. They had 4 years to do it, and they didn't do it, and they won't even let it go. And then you got Jim Acosta from CNN basically demanding that Trump apologize for what happened on January 6th. They're literally trying to blame Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, over the fact that Trump wasn't punished. Watch this.
That half the nation was okay with that, half the nation not okay with that. The debate continues in full.
Brad, is it time for Donald Trump to apologize for what took place 4 years ago?
I wouldn't expect Donald Trump would apologize. I think nor do I expect Democrats to apologize for trying to undo his presidency by all legal and extra legal means after that.
Come on, Brad. Come on.
No, Jim, look at our own polling. Look at CNN's own exit polling. Voters who said they voted on democracy were evenly split between Democrats and Republicans. January 6th was a dark day in the history of our country. Donald Trump bears a lot of responsibility for that. It's something that should stain his legacy forever. However, voters, they punished him for it. That's why he was behind Ron DeSantis by 20 points until Alvin Bragg indicted him. And once voters decided that Democrats were determined to prevent Donald Trump from being elected by any extra legal means, they decided maybe this wasn't as clear.
I mean, shouldn't your party have just rejected him, just flat out rejected him, from Kevin McCarthy to Mitch McConnell to the whole lot of them? How could your party let him be the nominee again? Isn't that the question?
Watch what Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell said in the aftermath of that. They absolutely did condemn him. Mitch McConnell was still condemning him months afterward on the floor. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi decided to use January 6th for partisan gain, though. She appointed. She refused to let Kevin McCarthy appoint Republicans to the committee. She didn't let Republicans hire staff to the January 6th Oversight Committee. They didn't allow cross-examination.
The January 6th committee had the Republican of all Republicans, Liz Cheney, on
Liz Cheney was not
booted out of your party. I mean,
she wasn't appointed by her conference like
Dick
every
Cheney's
other
daughter.
committee. She wasn't appointed by Republican.
Man, what a day. January 6th, this is a good day, man. This is a wild day. They're fuming over the fact that Trump's going to be the next president. Despite all the prosecution, all the impeachments, and the media is really believing that January 6th was pretty much the worst day in history. They've gone so far as to compare it to slavery, literally 9/11, the Holocaust, and World War II.
We need to find moral clarity, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. Mm-hmm. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, we need to move on from January 6th. Mm-hmm. I say no. You don't move on, because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget, because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
she got to be special ed or something. Her IQ got to be like 55. There's no way that you can actually think that you can compare January 6th to World War II or slavery or even the Holocaust. This is the gymnastics that you have to do to think that actually works is mind-boggling. Now they're trying to say that Trump is inheriting a government that is better than any predecessor he's had before, the best economy, and they are also saying that Biden had the lowest net immigration.
I don't know. I mean, I look at today, Donald Trump is inheriting one of the best economies that a president has inherited in a very long period of time. If you look at the fact that something like net migration at the border is lower than it was even before Donald Trump took office. If you want to look at the stock market, you're looking at the stock market rise.
I'm sorry.
I'm not even finished running it down yet. This is the first time.
The border needs to be secured further, and this number can be accurate.
This is the first time. This is the first time in dozens of years that a president has actually inherited a government where we don't have soldiers overseas in active combat zones. So, I mean, let's actually look at where we are. We actually, or he is actually inheriting a government right now that is much better than any predecessor he's had before.
Okay. I mean, I recognize that was the argument that was made during the election, and I would also like to recognize that the American people soundly rejected that argument. We do have American troops in forward locations all over the world.
Not in combat zones.
But they are in hot spots. I mean,
but not in combat zones.
We just had an American soldier die not too long ago in the Middle East.
Correct. And they're protecting our freedom every day.
Trying to fix Joe Biden's $300 million public relations peer.
So Bakari Sellers is just all the way wrong, just completely wrong. He can't even speak from the average American's point of view, saying that prices are going down. Since when?
The reality is migration was a disaster. Immigration was a disaster for 3.5 years. And they tried to window dress it for the last 6 months. Inflation was a disaster for all 4 years. The economy is not working for most people. That's why Democrats lost the election, and that's why they're going back to Trump.
Democrats lost the election. Nobody's arguing that. I mean, that's what the argument was 4 years ago when Donald Trump was filing lawsuits and they were raiding the White House. What we are saying, though, is that prices are going down. What I am saying is murder rates.
Going down.
They actually are going down.
Inflation is still
plateauing.
It is decreasing in rate, which is the entire goal.
But
of
are
the
prices
Federal
going
Reserve.
down or not? Just to be clear, no, they're not.
They are down from their sky high rates.
Yeah,
Actually,
no.
Let's move on.
All right, bro can't even articulate why the inflation was so bad the past 4 years. Basically, they always play this game where they don't want to give Trump credit for anything. Like the economy was good because he inherited Obama's economy, but that's really not what happened. Really, it was just Trump's policies created a better economy for Americans. And now the media is doing the same thing where they say they're trying to, I guess it's kind of like a damage control thing where they're like, the Biden economy was bad because they wasted time trying to fix Trump's economy. What? All right, since we're talking about elections, let's talk about Trudeau. That dude resigned on the anniversary of the January 6th insurrection and freeing Canada in result, actually.
Let's watch. Has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in Canadian history. That's why this morning I advised the Governor General that we need a new session of parliament. She has granted this request, and the House will now be prorogued until March 24th. Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the president of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
I'm not sure how Canadians feel about this, but apparently Canadians like the fact that Trump is talking about them being the 51st president. But the truth is, Trudeau should have gotten kicked out years ago. This is long overdue. He should have got kicked out, I say 4 years ago. But the truth about Trudeau is no one really respected that dude. And the question right now, I think, is what's next for Canada? All right, so here's what Trump tweeted. I'm going to read it to you guys. Many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Trudeau knows this and resigned, Trump said in the post. If Canada merged with the U.S., there would be no tariffs. Taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure from the threat of the Russians and Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be. I think Trump is trolling, but I think he knows what he's doing. I mean, I think he's a pretty good negotiator, it seems like. The whole tariff thing, I think, was a negotiation tactic. I'm not really sure if he was actually planning on doing that. I'm leaning towards no. But he was basically trying to make other countries, come to the table. His so-called threats, I think, make sense, the tariff thing. For example, the Panama Canal, he wants to lower the fees, basically, so American ships can utilize the passageway to travel between the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans. I think the next 4 years are they might be pretty good with great outcomes, but what do you guys think? Do you think Trudeau is worse than Biden, or do you think they're the same? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you later. Peace.